Hey guys, we have another very Chiron theme day going on today. We are back on our hero's journey. Both the sun and the moon are aspecting Chiron today, so we might have another day where some deep wounds are triggered to bring them to our awareness so that we can begin a process of healing and overcoming circumstances that have held us back in the past. We also are finishing our Sun Mercury conjunction today, so another very busy day of energy, ongoings, communication, talking to people, going places, doing things. Very active day with a lot of Chiron wrapped into it. Welcome back to my channel, everybody. Today is Tuesday, November 30th, 2021. My name is Aubrey, and this is your astrological outlook of the day. So let's talk about all this Chiron energy. Let's talk about all of this Mercury energy. Themes that we can generally expect today. Like I said, we're dealing with the Chiron archetype. This is always going to have to do with triggering our wounds to be acknowledged, healed, and overcome this hero's journey process. The Sun and Mercury are conjoining, moving to 9 degrees of Sagittarius today. Chiron currently is at 9 degrees of Aries. Sagittarius and Aries are both fire signs, so there is an exact trine that is happening today between the Sun in a conjunction with Mercury and Chiron, the wounded healer, teacher, master archetype, in Aries. This is the first Chiron activation that we have going on today. Now, in terms of this Sun-Mercury conjunction that we have had going on over the course of the past couple days, this started at 7 degrees of Sagittarius on Sunday. Monday, we had the exact activation at 8 degrees of Sagittarius. Moving into Tuesday overnight, to start the day around midnight, we had Mercury and the Sun move to 8 degrees of Sagittarius, where this is the last degree where the conjunction will be exact, and Mercury will begin to move forward and leave the conjunction with the Sun during the day today. But as we start the day, they are together at 9 degrees of Sagittarius, and that puts them into an exact trine with Chiron, who is currently at 9 degrees of Aries in fire signs. Let's talk about degree placement. Let's talk about Sabian symbols for a moment. 9 degrees of Sagittarius, where the conjunction and this trine in fire is taking place today. The Sabian symbol of that degree, or the energy described in a picture form, so we just have a better idea of the underlying context and what this specific activation is really doing, and the frequencies that it discharges, and how it is operating in terms of the overall context of the unfolding energetics that we're immersed in right now. We read the Sabian symbols just to give us more clarity. And the Sabian symbol for that degree, 9 Sagittarius, is a mother with her children on the stairs. The Sabian symbol of 9 degrees of Aries, where Chiron is currently, is a crystal gazer. So this is telling me right off the bat today, we can expect themes that are having to do with learning to maneuver our new reality and grow in a direction of self-mastery and self-sufficiency. The mother with her children on the stairs, assisting them in this process of learning how to maneuver their reality on their own. Chiron at a crystal gazer, talking about there being some aspect or dynamic of spiritual assistance, spiritual connection, divine intervention, spiritual guidance pertaining to the path of the future and these skills that we're learning and acquiring now. And again, it's going to have a lot to do with wisdom gained through experience in this process of overcoming our state of victimhood, this internal alchemization that brings us into a state of self-mastery, self-empowerment, and gives us the ability to then go on and help and teach and guide others who are going along a similar path of experience. And this is really how humanity collectively clears our trauma and raises our vibration so that we can go through this energetic paradigm shift and transition ages into the age of Aquarius. The Chiron energetic, the Chiron archetype is a very, very prominent and significant and important theme right now in this shift of the ages that's going on, and it's the process that helps us to change our vibration and come into this sense of self-mastery, sense of self-empowerment, which is emblematic and representative and necessary in terms of the incoming paradigm and the frequencies in the age of Aquarius and how things will be operating going forward in that reality. So another day where we are having an opportunity to really go through this vibrational shift that is moving us in that direction. Now, let's break it down for a minute and specifically talk about the specifics of these Chiron activations that we have today. Now, I'm going to talk about this more, but I said the moon is also aspecting Chiron. We have the sun making the exact trine to Chiron. The moon, you guys, is in Libra today also, and will therefore be making an opposition to Chiron. So we have the sun forming the exact trine with Mercury as well, while the moon is in opposition. So that is how we get both of our luminaries today, pointing right to the Chiron themes, right to the Chiron archetypes, and indicating that we are just back in this hero's journey energy today, which also makes sense based on what we're coming out of, everything that we've learned, all of these revelations that are causing this internal shift and us coming into our own power. It's all a part of this healing process, really, that we're in right now that is helping us to shift and transition going forward. So let's talk about the specifics of these Chiron activations. First of all, Chiron is in Aries right now, the first sign of the zodiac, the sign of the pioneer and self-initiative and courage. And we are really being asked to have the courage and the strength and the self-motivation and the self-initiative to really be the pioneer on our own hero's journey right now with Chiron and Aries. And at 9 degrees of Aries, the crystal gazer, this process is divinely guided, like I said, and linked to our future, linked to the path that is unfolding ahead. And throughout this process, we really have an opportunity at this point in time with Chiron at this degree to really ask for some type of divine guidance or divine assistance to help guide our path, guide our way going forward. The sun and Mercury being in Sagittarius, what does that mean for this trine today while Chiron is in Aries? And just, remember, Aries is ruled by Mars, and we're in a Scorpio cycle ruled by Mars, and this is also bringing up Mars today, which I will get into in a minute, but I just wanted to bring that back up in reference to Chiron being in Aries because that also puts a signification on Mars. But anyways, back to the sun and Mercury today in Sagittarius. Because of the fact that they're in Sagittarius for this trine to Chiron right now, this hero's journey through our own darkness and back into the light is based on mental shifts, Mercury in the sun, in terms of belief systems, being in Sagittarius, which rules belief systems, into something more authentically aligned with us and what we truly need to shine with Mercury and the sun being in conjunction. Remember, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, who is currently in Aquarius. Everything that is happening right now while the planets are transiting Sagittarius, and as we move towards our new moon in Sagittarius coming up this weekend, there's going to be a huge emphasis on an expanded desire for personal truth, personal freedom, personal liberty to align with our authentic nature, our authentic truth. All of the Aquarian qualities that are being expanded and supersized right now by Jupiter in the sign of Aquarius, while we have planets transiting Sagittarius ruled by Jupiter. So when we have these Sag planets, they're really all speaking to what is going on with Jupiter, the ruler of the sign of Sagittarius, and it's in Aquarius. So it is about shifting like everything mentally, physically, like internally, externally, into like a new alignment that supports our authentic truth, our authentic growth, and our ability to go through this internal vibrational shift. With the moon today, our other luminary aspecting Chiron, with the moon being in Libra, forming the opposition of Chiron and Aries today, these wounds that are being potentially triggered, or, these more painful experiences or situations that might come up today, just, wounds being triggered is a theme whenever we have Chiron activated. They could be specifically pertaining to relationships or love or finances, with the moon being in Libra, ruled by Venus, who rules love and relationships and finances. And we may feel some emotional or internal reflection on what we really need to heal with the moon, our emotions, our feelings, our internal environment forming the opposition to Chiron and Aries. We may be feeling emotionally wounded through some type of love connection or financial connection or relationship connection today, that triggering some type of wound within us that really gives us the ability to reflect on what we need to heal and what we've learned and the wisdom that we've gained through experience, and having the personal motivation, Chiron and Aries, to initiate this healing process, go through this healing journey, go through our own darkness back into the light and come into this place of self-empowerment and self-mastery, which the Chiron archetype always speaks to, possibly being driven by this emotional reflection today that could have to do with love, relationships, and finances in some type of a way, with the moon being in Libra. Now I want to talk just for a minute about the sign placements, or some of the placements of the signs that are being activated today and how that's activating some other planets. Like I said, Chiron right now is in Aries, which is ruled by Mars. Mars today is at 20, well, we start the day with Mars at 21 degrees of Scorpio, a sign that Mars also rules, and then Mars moves to 22 degrees of Scorpio today as the day goes on. Now remember, we also have the moon in Libra forming this opposition with Chiron, and Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus today is at 21 degrees of Capricorn, and that, funny enough, interestingly enough, puts Mars and Venus today while the moon and Chiron are kind of facing off and reflecting back on these relationship wounds potentially, and what we've learned through that process and what we now need to do to heal. This is also speaking to both Venus and Mars by the sign placement that this is going on. And while it's speaking to both Venus and Mars are in an exact sextile together between Scorpio and Capricorn. And so really, well, first of all, let me tell you the degrees, okay? 21 degrees of Capricorn, where Venus is for this interaction today, is a relay race. And 21 degrees, where Mars begins the day, is obeying his conscience. A soldier resists orders. And then Mars moves to 22 degrees of Scorpio, which is hunters protected by heavy clothing, shooting wild ducks. So in the context of the aspect that Venus and Mars are making, the fact that this aspect specifically is being referenced by the placement of the moon today in opposition to Chiron in the signs of Venus and Mars while they're in the sextile together, speaking about these Chiron themes and this hero's journey process today is being, it's being triggered again, but it's really about this inner integration of divine feminine and divine masculine principles and qualities within us, pushing us into a sense of internal wholeness, self-love, self-motivation, and self-empowerment. And this is also another reference to this pursuit that we have ongoing right now of Venus and Mars that is actually ongoing through March of 2022 to take down the Dark Lord, to take down Pluto, to truly reintegrate the divine feminine and the divine masculine qualities internally, collectively within all of us, to help us really, truly come into a place of standing in our truth, standing in our power, and finally, ultimately breaking free from anything that has been limiting us, prohibiting us, or that we've been surrendering our power to, that is keeping us from being able to go through this hero's journey process and this internal alchemization and this fundamental frequency and energy based change. This is an ongoing process. It's been going on for a while now, and it's being spoken of again today by the placement of Mars and Venus while we have this very Chiron themed activation going on today, and Venus is also inching closer and closer every day to a conjunction with Pluto. Pluto's at 26 degrees of Capricorn right now. Venus is at 21 degrees of Capricorn. This is a 5-degree orb that is growing closer and closer, and Venus is going to station retrograde soon. At that point, she will retrograde back through Capricorn. At that point, Mars will catch up to her, Venus will go direct, and they will both travel together to come into an exact conjunction with Pluto in March of 2022. And like I said, this is going to be a pinnacle moment in the reintegration of the divine feminine and the divine masculine internally, collectively with all of us, and really, truly bringing us all back into a state of self-empowerment and helping us really break free from the paradigm of the past, the conditioning of the past, and go through this shift that aligns us with authentic truth, authenticity, gives us the opportunity to truly cultivate and develop our potential and to create a life in a world that is a reflection of the value and the resources and the cultivation of those that we hold inside of us. So again, I know that was a lot, and it might be a little confusing if you haven't been following along with my work, but if you've been following me for the past couple months, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and this is, again, being activated today. And with these Sabian symbols in effect, the race is beginning to achieve this goal, to achieve this outcome, and a need to, armor up and protect ourselves from potentially unseen threats throughout this process as we speak our truth and act our conscience. Venus at a real relay race. Mars moving from obeying his conscience, a soldier resists orders, to hunters protected by heavy clothing are shooting wild ducks. The race is beginning. through this process that's taking us through March of 2022, where we come back into our power. And the Sabian symbols, the symbolism today is just speaking of this process being initiated, the need to armor up and protect ourselves from potentially unseen threats and forces throughout the process as we act our conscience and resist the conditioning of the past. All of these same themes emblematic through the degree placement in the Sabian symbols in effect. Another thing that I want to talk about today, there is like an underlying tone and underlying theme of really like being ready to defend our ideas and our freedoms to speak and think and have the thoughts and communicate them in the way that we want to and that we desire today. And this is also, aside from Mars at that degree about the well-camouflaged, well-protected hunters shooting wild ducks, the Earth today is at 9 degrees of Gemini and in opposition to where the Sun and Mercury conjoined. And that degree is a quiver filled with arrows. And so even on Earth, the state of things on the ground today, and this being in Gemini, clearly speaking about thoughts, communication, ideas, speaking truth, and with Mercury, ruler of Gemini, and Sagittarius, the sign of the truth, people are really going to be inspired and really wanting to be speaking their truth for sure. And with the Earth today in Gemini, ruled by Mercury and Sagittarius at this degree, a quiver filled with arrows, people are prepared to defend that truth, their ability to speak that truth, and their right to speak that truth. And we're just with the Earth at this degree today, we're prepared, well protected, and ready to defend our ideas, our thoughts, our freedom of speech, with it being in Gemini. People holding the line and standing their ground, ready to fight for their freedom of thoughts and ideas, and potential also for fighting words or verbal battles with this today as well. There is also just the sense of general unrest because there's so much clarity coming through and there's so much information being exposed, and it's shifting things and it's changing things and it's changing how we feel. It's changing our perspective, changing our viewpoint, changing what we want and what we desire and how we really truly view our own reality. And, it's pushing us to a place where we feel the need to really start defending these truths that we're coming into contact with and the value that we're realizing that we hold and what we will and what we won't accept anymore. And this is the process. These are, this is the initiation in the process and the phases that have to take place as we head towards this March 2022 point where the divine feminine and the divine masculine reunite internally within all of us and truly come into a place of self-empowerment, self-mastery moving forward into 2022 and the real transition, the frequency-based transition into the age of Aquarius. So very interesting, very interesting. One more thing that I want to say today, the Sun Mercury conjunction that's happening at 9 degrees of Sag today, before it begins to move apart and Mercury begins to move ahead and go his own way, and this aspect ends, this is actually also forming an exact sextile to Saturn in Aquarius. And remember, we have we have Chiron at 9 degrees of Aries, and Aquarius is the midpoint between Sagittarius and Chiron. And so we actually have today, by the placement of this Sun-Mercury conjunction, Chiron and Saturn, we have Saturn at an exact midpoint in the Sun-Mercury conjunction and the Chiron trine that we have going on. And this is talking about this hero's journey process that we're going on today being serious business, us taking it seriously. This is our lessons and we're studying, we're focused, we're working hard. And Saturn is helping us to clear karma and to create stable, long-lasting, enduring foundations going forward. And at this point, 9 degrees of Aquarius, this is a flag is seen turning into an eagle, and Aquarius represents the freedom to align with truth and authenticity. And with Saturn being at this degree, it's talking about a metamorphosis into true, authentic, personal liberation. And Saturn is the teacher, Saturn is the disciplinarian, Saturn is the judge, Saturn rules karma and time, and Saturn sets boundaries and slows things down and wants us to pay attention to details and really focus and work hard to build something that is lasting and enduring and stable and strong and sturdy. And with Chiron, or with Saturn today as the midpoint in this trine that we have going on between the Sun and Mercury and Sagittarius and Chiron and Aries, and this hero's journey that is being spoken about as a result of these mental shifts and this conscious awakening process that's going on. It's like we are also taking it seriously, and we're really, being asked to focus and to work hard and to really be diligent and to think things through and to go slow and to take our time and to, exert some boundaries on ourselves and like not just rush ahead, but to carefully and diligently build the structures of our new reality in a way that is truly in alignment with our truth and our authenticity and our ability to align with and express those things with Saturn and Aquarius. And again, this is based on a metamorphosis into the truest symbolic form of liberation. A flag is seen turning into an eagle. So again, and just emphasizing and underlining the significance and the seriousness of these Chiron themes today, with both the sun and the moon in aspect to Chiron, and Saturn is as the midpoint, talking about the karmic nature of this and the seriousness of it and the lesson that it provides, but also the ability to create something truly enduring and long lasting, stable and successful, and going vastly into the future. And then in the context of this Venus-Mars stuff that we have going on today, and them being an exact aspect, and it talking about this hero's journey process and this inner alchemization, bringing in both the divine masculine and divine feminine, helping us to come back into this place of internal empowerment and embody these Aquarian archetypes that are so just significant and are the future, are the direction of the future as we transition into this new age. So overall today, you guys, another very active, very busy day with Mercury as a highlight in conjunction to the sun. We are healing and overcoming difficulty today as we experience deep internal shifts that change our perceptions, change our perspectives on ourselves, on our lives, and on our reality, and on the value that we hold inside of us and the resources that we have inside of us, and the ability for us to cultivate and use those to create value in our external world as well. We are transmuting our victimhood into self-mastery and gaining a sense of internal love, strength, wholeness, and coming back into our power. And we're prepared with this symbolism in effect today to fight back against anything that is threatening our values, our morals, our conscience, and these newly acquired beliefs and understandings, and the desire to align with that authentic truth, which is truly the only thing that can bring us authentic joy, authentic fulfillment, authentic love, and authentic happiness. It all fits together. It's like, we have to, if we really want to truly experience the fullness of the potential of this life, then we have to go through this process of healing ourselves so that we can bring our vibration to a place where we can really attract the things that will bring us that true love, that true healing, and that true, genuine, authentic fulfillment. So that is basically what I have for my report today in terms of the energetics that we have going on. Now we can talk about the tarot for a quick second. I grabbed some cards this morning. Well, I didn't grab the cards. I shuffled the cards, and a couple cards came flying out of the deck at me, and I take those as what Spirit wants me to know in order to clarify the collective energy in the midst of these astrological energetics that we have going on today. And the cards that came out of the deck were Temperance in reverse and also the Six of Cups. And then on the back of the deck, we had, once again, just like yesterday, funny enough, the Wheel of Fortune. And this is just very ironic to me, considering that we are in an eclipse window right now, which is all about very fated events, very fated occurrences. And this card is talking about the hand of God, very fated events, very fated occurrences, the wheel spinning, and just an aspect of fate and destiny and divine intervention, sort of being involved in things. But anyways, in terms of these three cards in combination, Temperance in reverse, this is there's a few things that I wrote down that I was thinking with these cards coming up. It's no longer accepting or having a true desire to deal with things from the past. This card, the Six of Cups, is very much about nostalgia, childhood memories, past loves, things that make us bittersweet moments, reminiscing on things. And, the Temperance card, this is tempering something, having patience, allowing things to just be. And with it in reverse, it's like we're just feeling out of balance or cut off from memories or from past loves, possibly not having patience anymore for the past and things from the past, and just like not tempering our old memories of love, and just could potentially like even a sense of general irritation over maybe things from the past that we're still holding on to, or that still are holding on to us. And also this could represent like pain from old memories. But the thing is, with the Wheel of Fortune having been on the back of the deck, it's like we're really not surrendering to it. Like any irritation or pain or just like discomfort that we experience coming from past memories, reminiscing, past connections, past loves, things from the past today. It's like we're really not surrendering to those things, but instead with the Wheel of Fortune here, we are surrendering to the hand of God, and the hand of God being at work, and fate and divine intervention taking the wheel, literally surrendering painful feelings of loss to the divine plan for the future. And that is really, when these cards came out, that is what came to my mind, that is what came to my head, and that was, you know, how I was feeling that this message could potentially be interpreted in terms of the rest of the energetics that we have going on. And it makes sense because we have so much of this South Node past feelings, memories, situations, circumstances, patterning coming up for us to really view and think about and gain in a conscious awareness of, with the Sun and Mercury having been in conjunction with the South Node, and bringing us to this place where we're kind of like willing to surrender that to this. Oops, not that. To this. To the hand of God at work and divine intervention at play, sort of allowing fate to take the wheel at this point in time as we begin to let go of the things of the past and move towards the new open terrain of the future. So that is what I have for the tarot today. Now let me draw a synchronicity card for all of us. My phone is ringing. I'll answer it in a minute. These synchronicity cards are, I don't know if you guys could hear that or not. It's ringing again. These synchronicity cards are a message from God. They're just a little bit of inspiration to sort of guide our way, guide our path, give us a little bit of, I don't know, motivation or just guidance that we might need in this moment. Whenever you're watching this, as we go through the day, as we maneuver these energetics, really beautiful messages, and they often line up very well with the energetics. So shuffle a little bit more, and then we'll choose a card and see what God wants to tell us, wants to guide us, what he wants us to know for today. This is it right here. And this is very interesting again, because this message, just glancing at it, reminds me of the tarot that just came up. And it says, you cannot change another. It says, thou wilt keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on thee. Isaiah 26:3. In your relationships with others, don't be possessive or try to make them do what you think they should do or act the way that you think they should act. Never permit others to rob you of your peace of mind. Your peace and joy are in God and not in the words or actions of other people. Bless them and walk on. And it's very interesting to me, after going through this whole report and talking about the energetics today and talking about that moon in Libra in opposition to Chiron and Aries, potentially bringing up these relationship wounds, really showing us what we need to heal, what we need to reflect on. And if that is something that you are experiencing today, this could be really, really wonderful advice, because, it's really true. Never permit others to, other people should not be able to impact you emotionally. And that could also be represented by that Temperance in reverse and the Six of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune. Your peace and joy are in God and not in the words or actions of others. Bless them and move on. And that truly is the lesson of Chiron and Aries opposite the moon in Libra, and how to heal from these relationship issues, these painful relationship problems, relationship traumas, really realizing that your peace and joy are in God and not in anybody else's perceptions or opinions or thoughts of you, and blessing them and walking on truly is the way to heal and release from painful relationship circumstances. So with the moon in Libra today in opposition to Mars and Aries, this is really, once again, very beautiful, very synchronistic, very on point, relevant advice that we could probably all really benefit from when we do have this big Chiron activation going on today and the moon in Aries. So that's what I got. That's what I got for the show today, guys. That's what I got for the report. That's what I got for the energetics. I hope I was able to benefit you guys and give you some type of clarity in something. Just another very Chiron-oriented day, very much about this healing process and doing what exactly was said on that card, realizing that our joy and peace truly come from God and releasing the need and the desire to control outcomes based on other people. That is the hero's journey lesson when it comes to relationships with other people. So that's what we got. That's what we got astrologically. That's what we got from spirit. That's what we got, you know, again from God. So beautiful day, beautiful world, beautiful times, beautiful shift of the ages. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and share it with your friends. Leave me comments, you guys. I really, truly love your comments. You guys are just so beautiful and wonderful, and I appreciate your feedback and your thoughts on everything. So thank you guys so much. I have a Facebook page and a Facebook group if any of you are interested in that as well. And come back with me tomorrow, you guys. Let's see, tomorrow we're going to have a moon square Pluto, and it's going to, you know, more of these power struggles, power issues going on as the moon moves into Scorpio, and the moon closes out the Scorpio cycle, heads into Sagittarius as we move towards this new moon in Sag that's coming up in a couple of days. So more to talk about tomorrow, y'all. Come back with me. Wishing you guys a very beautiful day, and yeah. I will see you then. Bye, everybody.